So a couple years ago, I read the book A Team of Rivals, a spectacularly well-written biography of how Abraham Lincoln forged a cabinet full of guys who initially did not like each other and some of whom did not like him. Now, several of my friends said there were great leadership lessons in the book, which there were, but some of my biggest take-homes were, one, don't put together a team of people who hate each other unless you're really desperate, and two, don't put together a team of people who hate each other unless you've got freakish, once-in-a-generation leadership skills of one Abraham Lincoln. Welcome to Sunny's Best 3 Minutes, where we're not giving book reports, but we are taking one big idea from Sunny's message and bringing it to you in a portable package. This is our last in our 7-week series called For Such a Time as This, going through the Old Testament book of Esther. If you're just joining us, Esther's a Jew living in exile along with all her people, scattered across Persia about 450 BC. She wins a beauty contest and probably goes from the margins to the queen of Persia, the greatest superpower of that time, and this positions her to put a stop to a plan to wipe out all the Jews in the entire empire. God positioned Esther as queen to have influence for such a time as this. Now, to celebrate, they established the annual holiday of Purim, still celebrated by Jews all around the world to this day. And if you were a Jew living in exile, maybe 50 years after these events happened, and you're celebrating the holiday of Purim, they would read or recite Esther's story. And the take-home for you from that biography would be much more encouraging than my take-home from reading Team of Rivals. And the take-home is this: God is still God, and God is still good, even while in exile. And to take it even one step further, God is still God and God is still good, even if we're in exile because of something sinful or foolish that we ourselves did. Because the biblical story is clear. The Israelites are a conquered nation because they turned their backs on God. But God does not turn his back on them. Even as he's disciplining them, he's moving and working on their behalf. And the good news for us today, especially if you're in exile, some sort of trial or a dark season, and even if you're there because of something foolish that you did, God will never, ever, ever stop pursuing you and working for you. God is still God and God is still good, even if you're in your own exile-like experience. And sometimes in exile, he'll work in even more spectacular ways to position you for such a time as this moment, where we might be a part of his redemptive purposes, not from a position of strength, but from seeming weakness. And the invitation for all of us in our dark days is to trust he's still God, he's still good, even in exile, and even to be so bold as to believe he might call us to step into such a time as this moment to do some of our most significant life work and some of the most dark seasons of our lives. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Sunny's Best 3